Hi, welcome to Gramophone Music Studio YouTube channel. Today's video will be an analysis on ABRSM theory exam before and after, which is the switch from paper-based to the current online format. If you haven't already, check out our previous video on the complete guide to ABRSM online theory exam. Before we begin, what is music theory exam? It is an exam that assesses the knowledge and understanding the way of music works. It covers a wide range of topics including notes reading, note values, scales, tonic triads, intervals, and more. Why take the music theory exam? Because the minimum grade 5 theory is required for the ABRSM grade 6 to 8 exams, whether practical or performance grade. Now, let's look at an overview of the paper-based exam before 2020. The question 1 would be music in context, 15 marks. The second question, intervals, 10 marks. The third question, transposing, 10 marks. Fourth question, music in context, 15 marks. The fifth question, scales, 10 marks. The sixth question, music in context, 15 marks. And lastly, chords and cadences, 10 marks. Total would be 100 marks. And this is an overview of the online exam after 2020. The first question on the rhythm, 10 marks. Second question, pitch, 10 marks. The third question, keys and scales, 15 marks. Fourth question, intervals, 10 marks. The fifth question, chords, 10 marks. The sixth question, terms, signs, and instruments, 10 marks. And lastly, music in context, 10 marks. That makes a total of 75 marks. Now, I'll talk about the differences between these two exams. Firstly, the paper-based exam was a physical exam at the exam center, and there are only 2 exam dates in a year for Malaysia region. And for online exam, the mode will be online and can be done anytime, anywhere. Next, the paper-based exam has a total of 100 marks and the marks proportion is unequal, which means some questions are allocated higher marks than the others. Whereas in the online exam, the total would be 75 marks and all the marks proportion are equal, which is 1 mark each. In the paper-based exam, there's no multiple choice questions except for musical terms. The candidates write down the correct answer. Whereas in the online exam, they're all multiple choice questions and candidates select the correct answer. In the paper-based exams, the level attainment is as such: pass 66 over 100, merit 80 over 100, distinction 90 over 100. Whereas in the online exam, the passing mark is 50 over 75, merit is 60 over 75, and distinction 65 out of 75. Next, let's look at the questions comparison from the 2 exams. A full screen view is recommended to have a clear view at these questions. I will review them following the old exam format. The first question will be music in context, and at the beginning we'll see the test on bar lines and technical name. In the online exam, there's no question on bar lines, which is only tested in the earlier grades. The technical name question is adapted to question 3, keys and scales in true or false statement, followed by the test on naming chords and inversions, and also marking down the 1C5 chord progression. In the online exam, there is no question on marking down 1C5 chord progression, but the naming chords and ornaments is adapted to multiple choice question. Then we have a test on naming the ornament, which is later adapted to naming the written out ornaments and also given multiple choice. For the second question, which is a test on naming intervals and writing the notes to form intervals, it is similar in the online exam, but given multiple choice for naming intervals. Moving on to the third question, which is the test on transposing an extract. In the online exam, it is adapted to checking the boxes for the correctly transposed notes and key signature. Next, rewriting the note using other clefs. In the online exam, it is adapted to comparing 3 extracts in different clefs and stating whether they are at the same pitch or 1 octave higher or lower. And also, you have to state the relative key. In the online exam, the question about relative key may appear in the question 7 music in context in true or false statement. And in the paper exam, the candidate should be writing the enharmonic equivalent in brief. Whereas in the online exam, they should select the correct enharmonic equivalent. And in the paper exam, the candidate should rewrite the bar twice or half the value or from simple time to compound time. In the online exam, they should select the correct answer for this question. And it is followed by true or false statement according to the extract given. In the online exam, this is similar to before, with the number of questions increased. In the paper exam, the candidate was also asked to describe the time signature. In online exam, there is no question for describing the time signature, only selecting the correct time signature. Then there's questions about the instruments or voice part, and candidates should answer from scratch without options given. In the online exam, the questions about instruments or voice part is given in true or false statement. And the next question will be writing the scales from scratch. And in the online exam, it is replaced with multiple options questions or true or false statement about scales. In the paper-based exam, the candidate should take the correct answer for musical terms. This is in the same format as the online exam. And lastly, it is to indicate the chord progressions for cadences. In the online exam, this is the exact same question. Now, I will give some insights on the pros and cons of the change to online exam. One of the great benefits for online exam is the flexible time schedule, because the physical theory exam were used to held twice a year and only 2 dates available in the year, which might be a hassle for students who need grade 5 theory for the grade 6 to 8 practical or performance grade exam. The online exam can be done at any time. Next, it also provides a flexible venue and schedule, so the students no longer have to travel to the exam venue to take the exam or free up the schedule for the fixed exam time. Also, the online format only features questions with definitive answer. In the previous written exam, it is unclear how marks are deducted for small errors, for instance, like drawing the accidentals on the wrong line or space. And the online exam has equal marks allocation, which is 1 mark for each question. In the paper exam, some questions carry higher marks, so the candidates can make strategy to score well on those questions and neglect the others if they're only aiming to pass. Now we'll move on to the downside of the change. So the biggest downside is that it is only computer-based exam provided except for access arrangement. No physical test can be requested except for access arrangement, which will be difficult for the young candidates to jot down their working steps and notes on the screen. This also requires the responsible adult to be tech-savvy to solve the technical issue that may arise during the session. Only a computer, which is desktop or laptop, can be used to access the exam, and they also have to run the system check to ensure that it is compatible to the software. The online exam is largely multiple choice, replacing the answering from scratch from the previous exam. The candidates may get the right answer by guessing, whereas in the old format, they really have to understand certain topics to answer correctly. For instance, selecting the correct scale of E major from the 3 options given, in comparison to writing E major scale in treble clef with key signature from scratch. Next, it will also be a wider gap to grade 6 to 8 theory exam, which is only paper-based and involves more writing and elaboration that is lacking from the current grade 1 to 5 format. And the online format makes it harder to inspect malpractice. Although a proctoring software is used and measures are applied to prevent malpractice, such as performing room scan and recording the whole process of an exam. It is still harder to inspect on malpractice compared to physical exam when candidates answer the exam right in front of the proctor. And sometimes the given options are very similar to confuse the candidates. It's nearly becoming spot the difference instead of the music theory exam. You can check out the link in the description for the free download PDF version of this video. Since the change for online exam is permanent, wondering how to better prepare for the online theory exam? Fret not, we are preparing a new series of Road to Grade 5 Online Theory Exam, so subscribe to our channel and hit the bell button so you won't miss out our next release. Thanks for watching. See you next time.